Greetings and welcome to the multi-factor and Microsoft presentation on securing SharePoint 2007 with multi-factor SecureAuth. For this presentation, we're going to go through how SecureAuth, a world unique bilateral. Greetings, and I want to welcome Matt Kestian, a director for Microsoft, to kick off this call. Greetings, Matt. How are we doing?
You're doing excellent. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Doing great. Can you kick off this webinar for the team and with a few words about Microsoft SharePoint and SecureAuth?
Certainly. So, my name is Matt Kessian. I'm the director of Microsoft Technology Center in Irvine, California. I'm also a technical advisor to Multi-Factor Corporation. Today, Multi-Factor, we talked about SecureAuth and how it relates to SharePoint, Microsoft Office SharePoint Server 2007. And I want to quickly give a description of what SharePoint is and explain the relevance here, and then hop into the session. So SharePoint Server 2007, a server program that allows people to do web-based collaboration, enterprise search, enterprise content management, and business processes. And the reason that I think that SecureAuth is so compelling for this is it adds another layer of defense for our defense in-depth strategy. Provides additional levels of authentication for secure extranet interest. And what I found is that it's extremely easy to implement and maintain. The cost is very low cost of service, and the elevated level of security has been critical for the customer side of the talking to. And I guess at this point, I'd like to turn it over to the multi-factor folks to kind of give you an overview of what we're going to talk about today.
Thank you very much, Matt. Nothing could be more relevant to what you said in that one quote, which is defense in depth. Us in the security world are all being very cognitive of the new DNS threat that just was revealed through Dan Kaminsky and working with collaboration with great security partners such as Microsoft. What Dan Kaminsky and his team had released on July 9th was that the worldwide DNS system has flaws, which we all knew, and there was one particular flaw that has been addressed and a patch is coming out. But on a call he did for the world today, he said straight out that, yeah, that was one, there's others, and we have to have a defense in-depth strategy. What we are presenting today with Microsoft is a defense in-depth strategy for authenticating into the world's most popular portal, which is the SharePoint portal service. The problem today is that enterprises have secure information they want to release to the field via collaboration, document management, etc., all the wonderful things SharePoint do, but are faced with identity theft, phishing, etc. They also have issues concerning regulation. How do I address the PCI, the FFIEC, the GLB compliance regulations concerning authentications? To be succinct, current solutions out there such as tokens do not address things such as man-in-the-middle attacks and the new DNS flaw attacks that are relevant today. In addition, other authentication solutions are either too cost expensive or too difficult to deploy. This slide here, what I'm showing you is the multi-factor SecureAuth solution does do a legitimate bilateral, and what bilateral I mean a client and server authentication. The client being whatever platform it comes from, Microsoft Vista, XP, even Apple, going to the Windows SharePoint services and SharePoint services MOS server. Multi-factor is integrated straight into the SharePoint services, which I'm going to have our director of product solutions talk to about the integration, but right into the SharePoint forms-based authentication, so a true bilateral left side, right side authentication occurs. Why is this relevant? This is relevant because this is how we solve the dreaded man-in-the-middle attacks. This is how we solve the DNS flaw. The DNS flaw attack is simply You think you're going to www.bank.com, but actually you're going to www.russianhacker.com. We need an authentication solution that actually validates the server side. That's what multi-factor does. It is a true two-factor authentication with regulations that are stipulated today. And what we mean by that is we are offering both a certificate coupled with, in this case, Active Directory authentication. And what I mean by that is we are validating that that identity is still relevant and still valid by your enterprise in your Active Directory or MS SQL data store. What is SecureAuth? Let me talk a little about the SecureAuth solution before I go straight into a demo. The SecureAuth solution is three main components. The first component is a one-time registration. The one-time registration is very unique in the coupling of our product. Yes, we have the ability, which you'll see, of pushing out a valid X509 v3 authentication. That is a cryptographic certificate public-private key. But to do that, the best way to do that is do an out-of-band registration. That is, let's avoid the hacker altogether and call him on his cell phone or send him an SMS text message. That is integrated right into our solution and integrated right into our SecureAuth appliance, which I'll show you in the next slide. Once a valid registration is done, our product does something absolutely unique in planet Earth. What it does is it pushes a private public key pair to the end user. That's great. But it also pushes out a trusted root chain. That trusted root chain maps up with information that is relevant only to the deploying enterprise product. In essence, what you have is a virtual CA. What I mean by that is your certificates map to only trusted root chain of your enterprise. We have information we put in the cert that is relevant only to the enterprise that deploys this product. Once that cert is delivered, our product uniquely integrates with SharePoint and all ASP.NET technologies and utilizes the most popular session mechanism on planet Earth, which is the forms-based authentication. Literally what was due, and we'll talk about on this call, is the user hits the SharePoint resource, the resource of SharePoint or MOS, has forms-based authentication, turns on, understands that the user isn't authenticated, redirects the user to the SecureAuth appliance. The SecureAuth appliance does the validation of the certificate and the redirects back. Very unique thing is going on. The enterprise itself does not need to understand how to deploy, distribute, and to maintain client-side SSL. We do not break your SharePoint deployed server. That server stays as it is, probably a server-side SSL. The redirect occurs, and our appliance does the valid credential authentication. How does it look in the enterprise?